We stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I just want to say I am thrilled that we're back in person and that the community can come and voice their concerns. So I'm very happy that we're finished with Zoom meetings, and hopefully COVID will stay quiet so we can stay in person. But next, if we could, I'd like everyone to stand and help me recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I would like the city clerk to please call roll.
Alderman Allen? Here. Alderman Even?
Here.
Alderman Holman?
Here.
Alderman Hughes?
Here.
Alderman Mortland?
Here.
Alderman Perot?
Here.
Alderman Weezahan?
Here.
And Alderman Whitmire.
Here.
Mary is presiding, and we do have a quorum.
Thank you. Relative to the minutes from our retreat on June 23rd, I seek a motion and a second to approve those minutes.
So moved. Second.
Thank you. A voice vote, all in favor?
Aye.
The next from the June 28th regular meeting, also seek a motion and second to approve.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion or amendment? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right. Next on the agenda is hearing from citizens. Is there anyone that wishes to address the board at this time? Having said that, we are going to be looking at a request for a gate on Mason and for a pavilion for the Dayspring Baptist Church. If you wish to address the board on that, if you would kindly wait till we get to those sections, that would be fine. But if there's anything else, anybody who wants to address the board, this would be the time to come forward. Thank you. A public hearing to review a request. Actually, I want the city clerk to read that, or do I read that?
Either way,
Okay. I'll
you
read
pay me, I'll read it if you want.
Go ahead and read it, thank you.
A public hearing to review a request from James Redlingshafer, owner, for approval of a conditional use permit for a residential driveway gate to be located at 1926 South Mason Road in the Suburban Estate zoning district.
And I declare this public hearing open and would ask the city clerk to enter the exhibits.
Exhibit number 1 is affidavit of publication of notice of hearing, published in the St. Louis County on June 25th, 2021. Exhibit number 2 is typewritten notice of hearing, posted at the municipal center and on the subject property, and mailed to property owners within 300 feet of that property, with a list of those owners attached. And exhibit number 3 is bill number 2123.
Thank you. And is Mr. James Redlingshafer here? You come forward.
Hi.
Hi. And he's here to answer questions that we may have. I have just one or two, if I could ask you.
Sure. Would you like me to?
If you would, that would be great. You know, Mason Road there is fairly narrow, along all of Mason, between Clayton and Manchester. I had an experience months ago, much further down, closer to Manchester Road, where I have been known on occasion to drive a little faster than the speed limit. Came around the curve, and there was a UPS truck parked right in the middle of the street that I almost got up real close and personal with, and because there's nowhere to bail out. I mean, it was a ravine, and it was close, but no harm, no foul. And I guess what I'm asking on the gate, I want to be sure that the gate is far enough back that if you have a UPS or FedEx truck, that truck can be completely off Mason Road.
Sure.
I mean, I don't know if, I think the code is 25 feet, if I'm not mistaken, but I don't want the back end of a FedEx or UPS truck out there on Mason Road when they're making deliveries. And, you know, let's face it, nowadays, everybody buys everything online almost. So we get those deliveries all the time.
Yeah, my wife's best friend is the FedEx delivery man. I I absolutely agree with you. I'll have to look up how long one of those trucks is, but if the gate is approved, then I'll absolutely accommodate the length of a standard FedEx or UPS truck, because my wife also drives a longer vehicle and she doesn't have the best depth of perception in the world. And so I want to make sure she stays off Mason as well. And she's got my little ones in the back.
That's great. One other point, and I would not have thought of this, but I got an email from one of our residents who said that he was driving, I believe, north on Mason Road up toward Clayton, and there was someone doing some work on the berm, and apparently he kind of slipped or almost fell onto Mason Road. He couldn't swerve to the left because there was another car coming, but he said he was worried that he was going to smash his car into those boulders. Maybe decorative rock is a better word than boulder, but so I thought, Mason, the guy has a point that road is pretty narrow, and if for some reason somebody's coming north and they can't go to the other side of the road because of traffic, and there's one of your children ran out on the road, when he swerved off, he's going to take out the front end of his vehicle if he hits one of those. And could you think about maybe relocating those out where they are in front of the berm? Just sort of throw that out there, something to think about.
Sure, absolutely. Do you think it'd be helpful if I just scooted them up to the base of the berm? Admittedly, I wasn't the one who selected that those go there. It was the landscaper, and the reason he put them there is because after the sod was recently installed, within a moment, it was just being run over again and again. Or maybe there's a more practical thing that could be put there, like pavers or something.
If you look into it and see what you could do, I think people would appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then last thing I want to say is, hey, you must have a new child because I saw that stork, so congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Now, are there any questions from, go ahead. Alderman.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor, I have a couple of questions that I'd like to present actually to staff, and if they could follow up prior to the second reading, I'd appreciate knowing 4 things. One, if staff could confirm that there are 8 gates between the Mason-Clayton intersection down to Manchester, and 4 of those being on driveways, existing on driveways, and 4 existing on subdivisions. So that's question 1, if you could just confirm that. And then 2, for the 4 that are on driveways, what are those setbacks? Is it 25 feet, or is it less, or is it more? And if you find that it varies from 25 feet, why? So that's question number 2. And then what is the length of a fire truck is another question. Is it 25 feet, if somebody can confirm that, or are some fire trucks longer? And then lastly, and this is staff / maybe Town and Country Police Department, if somebody could have a 10-year look back at the accidents between Mason, down Mason Road between Clayton and Manchester, vehicle or other, and those accidents caused by a gate or somehow involving a gate, if those even exist. If there was any public safety issues with gates on that roadway, or I guess any roadway, to see if that's an issue with our city. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. And are there any public comments? Hearing none, I now declare the public hearing closed. I'll go ahead and read this one. The next one is a public hearing to review a request from Paul Boyer of CEDC, applicant on behalf of Delmore Dayspring Baptist Church, owner, for approval of a conditional use permit in order to construct an accessory structure, a pavilion, located at 1001 Municipal Center Drive in the Suburban Estate Zoning District. I now declare the public hearing open. I would ask the city clerk to enter exhibits.
Exhibit number 1 is affidavit of publication of notice of hearing, published in the St. Louis County on June 25th, 2021. Exhibit number 2 is typewritten notice of hearing, posted at the municipal center and on the subject property, and mailed to property owners within 300 feet of subject property with a list of those owners attached. And exhibit number 3 is bill number 2125.
Thank you. And is Michael Bruce here? He's the